of Transport includes a reference to Memorandum of Understanding, which had been signed a few months earlier. I was one of the signatories of the memorandum. The MOU was signed in April 2001 between three formations of the taxi industry, and that's the reason why I called Kenny to come up here. The MOU was signed in April 2001 between three formations of the taxi industry, namely the South African Taxi Council, the Provincial Taxi Councils, the National Taxi Alliance, and government provincially and nationally. As the parties committed themselves to bring about lasting unity within the minibus taxi industry on the basis of transparency, integrity, and establishment of a united representing the industry on a democratic issues. Ladies and gentlemen, let me emphasize what I have just read to you. All parties, including government, committed themselves to bring about lasting unity within the minibus taxi industry and the establishment of a united body representing the taxi industry. You will understand why I said in the beginning, Ntate Msibi, that government is the root cause of confusion within the taxi industry, and also government should take blame for the continuous conflicts within the taxi industry. In practice, government almost immediately went back to that commitment in less than 2 years. The National Taxi Alliance stayed away from Santaco activities and went back to being a splinter group. Since then, government at national level and 8 provincial governments stuck to the MOU. And thank you very much, MEC. Limpopo is one of those governments from provinces which stuck to the decision at Durban. But there is one particular province of which, MEC, I don't know how the governing party is really going to deal with that particular province, and that is Gauteng. You know, MEC, the DA-led government in the Western Cape respect the decision which was taken at conference by government in 2001. Only the government of Gauteng doesn't respect that. But well, we've got a remedy now, MEC. We've got a remedy. And the remedy, MEC, is that Santaco may upheld its votes in Gauteng, not in South Africa. In South Africa, we are with the ANC. Am I right, taxi guys? We are appreciating the help the ANC has given us. But I'm saying, this is a warning to Gauteng. We will call for the taxi operators in Gauteng to uphold their votes. We cannot continue to allow one province to confuse and to send divisions within the taxi industry. The taxi industry cannot continue being blamed for causing havoc in the country. It is true that South Africa's national constitution allows for freedom of association. However, this does not mean that government must recognize these breakaway groups, given the commitment made in 2001 and the Memorandum of Understanding. Over the years since 2001, the weaknesses of government has encouraged many groups of operators to break away from their associations. In Limpopo, it has happened MEC, that you get mushrooming associations. Earlier on, I was talking to the CEO of PRASA, and I would want the MEC to look into this following document.
Yo. Once again, good afternoon, stations. Let's count down for an interview. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 3, 2, 0.
Welcome, listeners. This is Lindwe Masakati speaking, back from the Ranch Hotel in Polokwane City. I'm here with Miss Olivia Maponya from Sandsbok. Welcome, Miss Olivia.
Thank you, Lindwe.
Welcome. What we like to know is the radio broadcasting now, and for the listeners who are listening out there, what we like to know, what is Sandsbok about? Can you please explain?
Okay, Sandsbok is a national council representing the small bus operators in the country. And then Sandsbok was established in 2009 by the National Department of Transport, and it was officially launched in 2012 through all the provinces and districts.
All right. What we'd like to know is, what do you think about today's event that has been that's been hosted here, that has been actually busy being hosted right now, and what is your aim as Sandsbok, and what would you like to achieve with the issues of the road accidents that have been happening around Limpopo and outside of Limpopo? Can you please also have an input on that, please?
Okay, let me first by appreciating the Department of Transport Limpopo under the leadership of Mayor Makurupechi for this initiative. Really, we've been long waiting for this, because this is a platform wherein, as bus operators, we can come in and share with other stakeholders of the Department of Transport on the issues pertaining to the interest of the public transport in the province. And with regard to the accident, it is sad to see, such happening in our roads. As we are preaching on daily basis, even under Sandsbok, we are always preaching to our members to say safety comes first. That is our daily summon to our operators. It is saddened that it has happened. Unfortunately, we cannot reverse it, but going forward, we need to teach our operators, especially driver, through skills, through programs, that safety must come first. We don't want to lose a single passenger, because for us as bus operators, losing a single passenger means we lose revenue. So we don't want to lose not even a single passenger due to a road accident.
While we're at it, I would like to just have your input. Like, we're just talking, it's not as if like it's a attack to Sandsbok or any other company, or I would like to know that we mostly know that most buses that are traveling on our roads some of them are not even serviced, some are the tires, like you find that maybe most owners of buses, they don't actually service their buses, and sometimes it leads to accidents happening on high roads and even local roads. What more can you do for this initiative to be actually granted the permission to let them actually service them? Like, what can you as Sandsbok try to? Yeah.
Okay. On that one, remember, before we become Sandsbok, we are individual bus operators, and every individual bus operator has his own way of doing things. Mm-hmm. Some bus operators, we are advantaged, I can say, because we are running the subsidized contracts, which are paying well, so that we can be able to maintain our vehicles. But there are these other operators whom are not even running any formal subsidized contract or scholar transport, wherein they will have a stable income to look after their buses. But as Sandsbok, it is still, again, our weight to operators that, guys, safety comes first. Mm-hmm. If we cannot put our vehicles in a good condition, what are we doing to the communities, we will be killing people. Are we going to take the responsibility and accountability of doing that? So that is first. Before we can even say I'm a transport operator, you must think safety first. Before that, before everything.
Okay, do you have any messages perhaps for road users and pedestrians traveling almost every day when they go to work? Some are going to other provinces. What advice could you give to drivers out there?
Okay, firstly to the pedestrian is that let us always be alert. Let us not walk the streets with closed eyes. And then to the drivers, not only bus drivers, let us adhere to the rules of the road. Because there are a lot of observations that I've made driving around, even in town, especially coming to the traffic lights. Drivers, we have this tendency of when we approach the traffic lights, when you see the lights turning orange, amber, then unfortunately it gives us a different message than what it's supposed to
be. Yeah.
So we are speeding up to say, okay, I want to pass through, but that is not acceptable. So when you see that light turning orange, prepare yourself to stop so that you can avoid whatever, because you might not know what will be coming from the other side of the road. And to our drivers, as SANSPOC, again, I'm going to repeat it, that we are definitely making sure that we skill our drivers to a point that every single quarter we even do the wellness programs, wherein we call the traffic officers to come and have talk with them, to share with them the statistics of the road accident on the road, because that will be an eye-opener to them as well, to say, if I'm not doing the right things on the road, unfortunately, I'm going to affect even innocent people. You know, that's the message we are sending to our drivers all the time.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Maponya. And on behalf of our radio stations that are listening right now, we'd like to thank you and for taking your time. And please have a lovely day. And thank you so much for your advices and your input about this whole issue about the transport indaba that is happening today. Since it's October, it's known as the Transport Month. Thank you so much.
Thank you, listeners, and thanks, Lindy.
Position to be reinstated. And that's why we say that, because we know sometimes government, you have so many things which are prohibiting, we will go to court for the court to help you to give us our rights back. Let me talk on the Operation Hlokomela. And again here, Limpopo must be congratulated that the national structure in 2010 came here. What was this place in that thing where we launched Hlokomela? Botlokwa. MEC Botlokwa ne? Yeah. MEC Hlokomela, the road safety program of Santaco, was launched here in October Transport Month in 2010 by the taxi industry in South Africa. This program, I'm sure the person who can tell you what contribution this program has made to South Africa, it's Mtate Msibi, Makosini Msibi from RTMC. We reduced accidents from, at that time, it was 12%. Mtate Msibi, am I right when I say the taxi industry stands at 3%? The only thing I differed with you in that MCB is when you make a statement in the papers, when you say taxi-type vehicles are causing a lot of deaths on the road. I say, how, Panna? How does things suddenly change? When taxis are doing good, it's taxi-type kumbis. No, it is Santaco that MCB. It's not taxi-type vehicles. It's Santaco, the taxis. Why is government so reluctant to honor its commitment to promote and safeguard unity in the taxi industry? It seems probable, believe it or not, that government is planning for the taxi industry to disappear and be replaced by integrated public transport networks. based on bus rapid transit. That's our suspicion, MEC. That's our suspicion. This is the principle behind the public transport strategy approved by Cabinet in March 2007. This envisaged a phased implementation of integrated rapid public transport networks, which would see operating systems in the 12 cities, at least 6 rural districts by 2014. The whole system would be implemented in 2020. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you today in this Indaba, we are now approaching the year 2019, and very little has been achieved. The city in which we are now, for example, has yet to implement the first stage of its Lieto La Polokwane integrated rapid public transport network. It is in good company. It is in a good company. eThekwini has also not yet managed to get to the starting line, and others, such as the Nelson Mandela Bay, have managed to implement just one token route. Just one token route. That MCB, you'd remember those buses are still standing in Nelson Mandela since 2010. Not operating, they don't want to give it to the taxi industry. The fact is that the taxi carries around 70%. And it's not the Santaco which is saying, it's Statistics South Africa. The taxi industry carries around 70% of all public transport users throughout the length and breadth of South Africa. It will continue to do so for a very long time, in fact, for unforeseeable future. Santaco does not suggest that government should necessarily turn away from these glamorous projects, but in the interest of the majority of citizens, government must give urgent attention to the challenge of today. I'm concluding. Ladies and gentlemen, government cannot bring order and stability to the taxi industry without a partnership with the taxi leadership. MEC, you're not going to succeed to bring stability if you don't involve your taxi industry stakeholders. That's my advice to government. Include them, work with them, come with suggestions, let them come with suggestions. You will see your problem will be over. But as long as government think that they will sit one side and they will decide for the taxi industry, they will not be able to deal with the problem. The form of that partnership was clearly laid down in the MOU of April 2001 and adopted by the Santaco founding meeting in 2001, 16 September. Let me emphasize, Santaco does not want to be the government. I want to emphasize that. And let me also deal with people who are trying to send confusion into South Africa. Santaco in...
1, 2, okay. Let's wait for a countdown, ladies and gentlemen. Let's wait for a countdown. The following interview is about Mama Muraudzi. She's going to be talking on behalf of all the traffic officials in Limpopo province. So let's make a countdown. A countdown will follow shortly.
Okay. Are you ready, guys?
I don't know.
Are you ready down there? All right. Let's count down.
Thank you.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Thank you so much, Limpopo Community Radio Stations. I can see Musina FM, I can see One Nation FM, and we acknowledge Zebediela FM as well as Tubats FM. We know you guys are listening down there. And then we as well want to thank Conrad Tsepo FM just around the block here from Polokwane, Mohamulepo. And remember, we're coming to you live from the Transport Indaba at the Ranch Hotel just outside Polokwane. That type of a place, that type of a hotel whereby you take dignitaries or those very important people into a gathering to say, let's discuss something. That's the ranch, of course. And talking of important people, good day, I'll run it through you. Because, you know, sometimes when you interview higher level people or those people in the biggest portfolios, you need to go through ngachivenda barindi koroni wamba mkarabza, and then mkarabza wait a little bit and he tells another mkarabza, and then that's how it works, right? Bomkara.
Yes.
Honorable Dr. Daily Bipe, let's welcome Bom Memuraudzi. She's from the they changed the name. You know you are used to the Department of Transport. And then you are used to the Department of Roads and Transport. And then you are used to another Department of Transport ahead. Okay, but she's talking as one of the senior officials in the province. Okay, she will be deliberating on a lot of questions. One of the questions is going to be on Operation Ndazi, which is thunder. She'll be talking about way bridges. She'll be talking about those trailers. Akere wabona khonale salwa haka trailer, the big one.
Yeah.
We are guy.
Kebekeo Huchia de Homo Zebediela.
Okay, Mama Mlaudzi, welcome to the community radio stations. And let's just start with it. Operation Ndazi, Operation Thunder.
Yes, Operation Thunder is the operation that we started last year as a department. After we've realized that we're having a lot of fatalities in our area. So we said, let's have this operation to strengthen whatever we are doing. So this Operation Ndazi, we do it on Fridays and Sundays. That is advised by accident states in our province. So we have seen that on Sunday, our province is having a lot of movements, and also Sunday when they go back to their workplaces, we are having a lot of movement. So we are having this operation, which is having activities like speed operations, road block, where we will be checking roadworthiness of vehicles and drivers. When we talk of drivers, we will also be doing drunken driving operations. So it's a major operation which is supported by SAPS and all other law enforcement agencies, so that we can check and confirm if our motorists are safe on our roads. So we are continuing doing that. We started it last year in November. And if you realize, in December last year, during festive season, our province was #1 in terms of reducing both fatalities and crashes. That was because of the intervention of this operation. So since then, we are continuing with this operation. So, but when we approach festive season, that is where we will strengthen it by visible patrol. From the 1st of November, we will be up in feet trying to do the pre-festive season operations in preparation for December. But from the 15th of December, that is where we will be doing 24/7 operations in all our critical routes.
Even when you try, atiri una batho bangwe ba try o bribe, o do bribe o suka hange jobe ke joni, yo fela chelede we baso e ka speed mo go bani chelede ona, yo fela ka operation garba everywhere, so you can't keep bribing until you get there. Never.
In fact, even if you have money to bribe one, you must know that we have showed you last year that this time we're not dealing with our officials only. We are dealing even with those who are giving money, because those are the main culprits. If you keep your purse, then we will not have problems. But if your purse is loose in such a way that you just open and give everybody on the road, then you become the main problem to us. So we are going to deal with both of you.
Lindiwe earlier was talking to MEC Jerindo, and then I think even the issue of the bribe went into the block a little bit. Sometimes you ask yourself, who's wrong? Because a driver will say, hey, Mona, I didn't want to be arrested. And then the traffic official was tempted. You don't know. The situation is, I cannot afford to fix this problem, but I want to get there. Then you say, maybe good day, I shouldn't have asked the question, but because I see your mic is on. Who's wrong?
And I think, according to my understanding, both of them are wrong. Like I've indicated, that the main one who's wrong is the one who's having a cheap purse. Because if you close your purse, then everything is closed.
But ma'am, how do you deal with the question of cold drink?
Yes.
As a department? Most of the traffic inspectors on the road, they request motorist.
Mara, she's saying close your purse. Don't open the purse.
Don't come with cold drinks in your boot in trying to bribe officers.
Yes.
Because the moment you start doing that, then you become the main culprit.
Okay. Way bridges. Muremi told me to stick to this one. The way bridge is there. Actually, the way bridge is this type of bridges whereby a big truck or anybody loading a trailer should just off-ramp a little bit for some 200 meters into a system where there will be a robot or a boom which will automatically open for you to turn left or to turn right or pass through to the main road if you did not carry a lot of load. So if it's a little bit in proportion, it will open for your system. But if they think you carry it heavily, they will just say to you, hey, defolition. So let's talk about the way bridges.
Yeah, let me first indicate that in the province we are having 8 way bridges. We have the main big one in Begbridge. We have the small one in Mampakale before you get into Lutrecht, which is Makado nowadays. Then we have the other one here in Polokwane outside town.
And the Mokopane
we
one.
Have Mokopane one in
and
Zebediela.
The Manzole as
we
well.
Have Manzole.
Yeah.
We also have Ratoke in Marble Hall area.
Okay.
We also have Moketsi around towards Mupane.
Oh, that one when you go to after Schoses.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think what we must understand here is the reason behind the issue of having way bridges. Way bridges are there in order to sustain our roads. We wanted people to have loads which are in line with the strength of the road. Hence, we have way bridges. And on the other hand, we are saving lives because if your vehicle is overloaded, if you are involved in an accident, the impact becomes otherwise. So these are 2 things. So when you go to our way bridges, we want all the goods vehicles to go to way bridges, including passenger vehicles.
Like taxis?
Like buses
yeah.
and taxis. If we see that this one, there is a need for us to get into
it must go there.
It must go there. So that is where we weigh the vehicles in terms of the axles.
Oh, cool.
Yes, if it's a truck, then they will weigh it from the first, second to the third axle, if it's having 3 axles. Okay. So as and when we see that you are overloaded, you have to reduce the load before you leave.
Then it goes to trailers.
Yes.
Mremi, I've seen trailers. I've seen trailers everywhere, especially how Mama Murauzi now. From the 1st of December, Mremi, you'll see a trailer Quantum with 16 people. And then now there's a trailer with mattress and a Ford Ranger as well inside and biscuit, everything there. So now it becomes a concern. Oh, how did they make it? How did they pass out of... The problem is not in Limpopo. The problem is where the trailers are originating. They come from Joburg. How did they pass all those systems? Would they, maybe you know a shortcut?
No, not really. Yeah, you are right. You'll be surprised, Ori, if it le Manzole.
Not Manzule. Let's go first to Gauteng. It's out that trailer which looks illegally loaded. If it is what do you say, Mama Murauzi, as the senior traffic official in Limpopo, concerning Good Day's understanding of trailers?
Yeah, let me indicate that we are having this operation called Operation Malaysia. That is the operation that deals with trailers. It's specifically for trailers, because we've seen that as a province we are having problems, like you are indicating, that trailers will come from as far as Cape Town, but when they reach here is where that we will realize that we have this type of a trailer. But what I can urge is that remember, when we weigh the trucks or the trailers, we don't just deal with the weight only. We also deal with the length. So most of the trailers, you will find that in terms of the length, in terms of the height, they are meeting the requirements. And as community outside there, when we see the load going up without knowing the legal limit, then we will see it with our ordinary eyes and think that it's over the limit. Yeah. Whereas it is within the limit, because it should be 4.1.
Okay.
The height. So you just imagine 4.1.
So and we judge sometimes.
Yes, yes. Oh. And you will find that they are not
no
that
weight.
heavy. You see, and only now when you see them, then you complain.
No, I said Naki Budej. No, they were listening. It's not me. I didn't say that. Muremi was listening. Budej says, yeah, from Joburg.
Yes. So those that are overloaded,
no,
they are being charged, and they have to reduce the load.
Okay. No, concern yaka go mamlaotse ke be go chedi railing meralo fititisha overload.
Yeah.
De fita bang way bridge ya bo Manzole. Tla gape feta bo Mokopane,
from Mokopane to Polokwane, from Polokwane higher Sosese, it will pass the Sosese. If it's not, it's going to Loitrichat. Then there's a way bridge called Loitrichat, and then there's another one in Musina, the big one.
And the fita like Zimbabwe. Really makacha.
And then
we shouldn't judge.
Let's not judge those.
Yes. I'm with you 100%. You know what they normally do, these guys? They do have escort vehicles for themselves. Let me give you an example in Kranskop. If our guys are there, working there, they will have a vehicle to check as to whether our officers are there, and then they will hide. The moment,
they wait.
Yes, they will hide. If you go in Kranskop sometimes, I think not long I've seen them issuing a message that, please, we are just here to sell petrol. You get your petrol and off you must go. Because they will hide behind there and wait for us. When we stop the operation, then they go.
They continue with their journey.
Then they will survive like that, trying to spy on us to say, where are they, just like that. And then a person will survive until Bedbridge.
Okay. On a personal question, listeners will want to know, how many years in the service have you been serving South Africa as a traffic official until the last, because you are the first traffic officer in the province. Habare, the traffic officer, the first one, it's her. How many years of service?
No, count for me. I started being a traffic officer from 1986.
Gee. Okay. Now, the reason Kibuchisha saw,
the first traffic officer, or Yamusadi,
the position is like a president of the traffic officers. If I would say in politics, she would be the president, but with the traffic officers in the province, she's the first one. It starts there.
The senior.
The most senior
traffic officer.
Yes, you can't count Diloteba Diaparang on the chest.
I think that way it's clear now.
So why am I coming into this? I just am stealing Lindy West's time, but there are preparations for the mass funeral. You know, Limpopo lost a lot of people. We had a lot of fatalities on the road. So she's now in charge of the team, which is being given the responsibility to ensure that the mass funeral goes in hand with the protocols and all other arrangement positively. So let's just talk.
And the road accident fund is also included or involved in the whole.
Yes. Yeah. Let's talk of that in closing.
I think preparations are underway. We had memorial service yesterday, and it went very well. The department, let me say government, is assisting the families in whatever, in terms of transport, in terms of counseling, in terms of everything which needs to be done for funerals to be in a dignified manner. So we are working with them closely. We are having representatives of each family in the task team. As I'm talking to you now, the task team is on in Bloberg, so that on Saturday we must have a very dignified mass funeral.
Okay, that's on a certain note, listeners. We're coming to you live from the Ranch Hotel for the Transport Indaba 2018. My name is Naftali, and I'm co-presenting with Lindy. We're entertained daily, baby. We'll be back with you shortly. Thank you. That's on a certain